I must ask, like, how was your mental state growing up in an inner city community? Because growing up now, we learn that your mind is the most powerful tool. Named everything around it. You learn that anything, almost anything that you put your mind to, you can achieve it. We learn that now, and we were also being introduced to that back then. But
Right.
how was your mindset at that time? How were you mentally, despite everything you were going through? And how are you now mentally? And what, yeah, yeah, answer that first, and I'll ask.
Well, I'll be more than happy to, because here's the thing. And let me just get real with those who might be tuning into this program. But let me tell you something. When you're growing up in the inner city area,
Yeah,
there are a lot of things that you will see and experience that will coin how you interact with the world. For example, I tell people I went to a university, right? And by university, it means that I could gel and blend anywhere. And many persons know when I tell them that I grew up, I was born and raised in the inner city. They look at me like, what, really? Because they possibly expected a sort of disposition or a way of being. But then I knew how to channel certain energies. So if I was there, I knew how to interact and I knew how to gel with persons who were from there. If I went outside, I also knew how to gel and to exist. So my mindset was never limited to say that, oh, because I am from the inner city, that I needed to act or to behave in a manner that would have caused me then to be identified that this is where I'm coming from.
you were
Because
saying that you know, despite being a part of the inner city, you didn't see the need to, act as
yes,
if you are. Yeah.
yes, so definitely. Because here's the thing. One of the things I realized that, listen, not because you come from the ghetto, it means say, yo, you need to act a certain way, right? And nothing is wrong with persons who are from the inner city,
Yeah.
right? Nothing is wrong with that. Where I have a problem is when you think that you should be born there, when you are born there and you should die there,
Yeah.
right? And nothing is wrong either with living in the inner city, but you should never allow yourself to be limited in your thinking. Because, like I said, there were persons who resided in my community that never know how another parish looked because for all their lives, they worked in the community, they went to school in the community, they did everything within the community. There was never an opportunity that they would have been afforded that would have given them insight in terms of what else existed outside of the community, right? And so that mindset for me was never, I did not have a limited mindset because I knew that there were things out there that
You
I
were
could do,
exposed.
right? I was exposed. And this is why
Yeah.
I always encourage persons who have children to say, listen, you need to expose a picnic because when your children have a limited view of the possibilities that exist, what you find is that they will always be trapped in that cage, that mental cage. I did not have that because I knew of persons who were going overseas. I knew of persons who were business owners. I knew of persons who, acted in a particular way. And I used to look and say, I would want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So that for me encouraged me to pay attention. And one of the
Hmm.
keys to getting out of that situation would have been focusing on my education. Because at the end of the day, education is really that gateway to propel you to anywhere in this world, right? And I had teachers, of course, who encouraged me, who saw the fact that I did love talk, right? And
Yeah.
one of the things, because of that, they would put me in positions, that would sort of hone my gift in terms of speaking and interacting with people. And I was a very helpful child,
Yeah.
and I was always willing to help out. I was very curious as well. So that curiosity always ignited when I saw something that I wanted to become familiar with. So I always tell young people it's good to find out things, push yourself, right? You will never always have perfect conditions. There were nights, Joshua, I can tell you, where gunshots were blazing through the community, and I had to be under my bed trying to study, right?
And they're trying to study.
Under my bed, because you can't stay up on top of your bed because shot may come through the wall. Right, so I had to stay under my bed trying to study. There were days when you just can't come out of your house because you know, say, the area would be tense, right, because of gang-related violence. And so those were some of the things that I was exposed to. But nevertheless, I did not limit myself or my ability to dream that there was greater on the other side.
Miss Lawrence, that's actually really crazy, because you have a lot of persons who are from, the inner city areas. You have a lot of persons who, as you said, they're born there, they're living there, and they believe that they should die there, and they feel like because they live there, because that's where their roots are, they can't associate with like society, the mindset that is around there, that's the mindset that they should, adapt. And listening to you saying all of this right now, I think that, as Jamaicans or policymakers, probably we can do something about that, show a lot of the individuals in those communities that, life is out there.
Life, let me tell you something. Life is what you make it, Joshua. And I always tell people that you are not limited by your circumstances. You're limited because you want to be limited. Because I've seen some persons who have been raised in abject poverty, meaning they never have nothing. Like maybe some look up borders, like, and when I say borders, I mean like if you look up, you're seeing Jesus in the sky, right? And they had little to no resources. But let me tell you something, those persons persevered, right? They persevered. And where they are now, I'm telling you, it's not a case where they would have been limited. So their ending rather was not defined by how they started. And that's how persons must view life. You are not a product of where you started. You're a product of your decisions after you would have started.
Be a mindset. A lot of how you think.
And I realized, Joshua, that God never did create me to be mediocre. God didn't create me to be inferior to anybody else. God did not create me to be no knockoff version of nobody else. God created me, and I was valuable.